Oh, wait, I didn't mute mine. Okay, now you should be good. Ooh. There, better? Okay.
Always waiting for that like last
Amy,
minute
do you
to
have-
tick by. It's like, can we just do this?
Carl Stein
Yeah.
and Melissa Stein, Karl. And then Brenda Black. Just give me a minute.
Final seconds. Ready? I will wait till it strikes 7, but I got 6:58, so we'll go by the wall. Clock on the wall. Anyway, are we? Not quite. Ready? Good. Good. Okay. I will call this meeting of the Halfmoon Township Board of Supervisors reorganization meeting to order for 2022. It's getting hard to say that. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and I kind of halfway jumped ahead, and I was vice chair last year, so I am the temporary chair for the moment. We will move forward to nominate an election of chairperson of the Board of Supervisors for this year. So, any nominations? Now's the time. I'd like to nominate Patty Hartle for chairperson, if I may.
Like to nominate Dave Piper.
Okay.
If that's the right time to say that.
Yeah, it's fine. Do we have any other nominations? So since we have 2 nominations, Denise, how do we handle the voting on that?
Somebody can second a nomination.
Okay, we need a second for one of our nominations.
Actually, we don't, but that's okay.
I'll second Dave.
We don't need to
Okay.
have seconds on
Not
the,
according to Robert's rules.
okay.
I'm not sure, so. But we have a second, so I guess we can proceed. Any other nominations at this time, or seconds, or thirds, or seeing none? I guess we will go to a vote. For Dave Piper to be the chair of the Halfmoon Township Board of Supervisors for 2022. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Dave Piper is approved, so I will pass the gavel.
All right,
Congratulations.
thank you. Nominations for vice chair for the Board of Supervisors. Do I hear a nomination for vice chair?
I nominate Patty Hartle.
I'll nominate Ron Sabella.
I'll second the nomination for Ron.
I'll second my own.
All right, well then we have 2 votes. All those in favor of making Ron Cervello the vice chair signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those in favor of making Patty Hartle, well, I'll put it this way. All those opposed to Ron Cervello signify by saying nay.
Nay.
Okay, well, Ron
Well,
wins the prize.
ayes have it. Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing personal, Ron. It's just, you know.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Now,
Nothing taken.
let's do our opening announcements here, and we'll let Denise Gambusio, our manager, handle that good fun part.
Same opening announcements that we've had, of course, this being our first meeting of the year. We naturally have some vacancies for various boards and commissions and volunteer positions. So if you have any interest in those, please either visit our website or contact me via email, and we'll have some more information on what's available after this evening. We're also being recorded from CNET. We are live on their YouTube channel, and you can also check this out. It's on Roku. There's 100 different ways you can watch this. If you have any problems accessing any of our meetings, please let us know. If you have not signed up for your email alerts, you will know if you've signed up because you've received tonight's agenda. If you haven't done that, please sign up on our website to get important announcements and news coming your way.
Okay, citizens' comments. Do we have any citizens' comments tonight? Anybody calling in?
We have citizens' comments for the next meeting.
Okay, well, it's on here for the,
For
just in
the
case,
reorg.
just in case. Let's see, approval of the agenda. I'm gonna do this a little bit different than what we've done. I'd like to have an executive session with the board at some point here to talk about a legal matter. But I guess we can get down through and appoint most people before we get too far, so. That's all right with everybody?
Sure. We do need to approve the agenda though, correct?
Yes.
For legal purposes.
Do you want to add an executive session at the end?
Well, just trying to think where the best place to put it might be. Yeah, we can put it at the end of the organizational meeting before we get into the regular meeting. All right, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda for the organizational meeting?
I move that we approve the agenda with the addition of your executive session at the end of the organizational meeting.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Ayes have it. Okay. Anybody like to make, well, do you want to just do all these in one big clump?
That's what the consent agenda is for, as your reminder. So this is all of the, if you have something that you'd like to discuss separate, we can pull it out. But this is to either appoint, reappoint, or approve. And this is the positions from last year, as well as making sure that the fee schedules are accepted. We'll do those in resolution a little bit later. Making sure that we have our bank depositories still the same, approving our accounting firm for Boyer and Ritter, emergency expenditures, who our library trustee is, the mileage reimbursement rate for 2022 per IRS standards, noting our bonding limits. So if there's anything in particular that you'd like to pull out for either our special counsel or zoning hearing board or
Does everybody in the audience have an agenda? Okay. Does anybody in the audience see anything they have a problem with? Okay, well, I guess we can just do it in one big sweep.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All those, any discussion amongst the board? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. No opposed, so we can move on. All right, number 9 is done. We got board appointments. The PSATS convention, we need a voting delegate for Hershey. Is anybody interested?
In previous years, I would have been. Unfortunately, that's a bad week for me. I won't be able to attend PSATs this year.
Anybody else would like to go as our voting member?
I'll consider it. I'd like to maybe find out a little more and double check the dates.
All right, well, let's just
Go ahead and,
put Ms. Hartold down as the liaison unless there's something changes. We gotta guess a few months to do that.
We don't need to vote individually on these. We're just naming,
A designee.
yeah, correct.
I mean,
You
we,
could- yes.
the PML Municipal Leadership Summit Voting Delegate in Pittsburgh. I take it that's,
Pennsylvania Municipal League,
have we
Yeah.
sent people to that in the past?
years ago.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
recall
think anyone's
recently.
We
gone in
haven't,
a
but
few
we
years at
always,
least.
they also do a vote-in, they send something in the mail too, that whoever your delegate is, you can send, your votes in by mail for anything for the voting delegate as well.
Now, does this voting delegate need to be established now, or is this something that could be added
We could technically add it later, it's
Yeah.
good to have somebody established
Yeah, sure.
now.
I'd rather have it now, but yeah.
have you been to the thing in Pittsburgh before or not?
I have not. I want to say I could do this one. I wouldn't have it's so far out I wouldn't be able to tell as far as a schedule, but I don't foresee myself having an issue with that. I could do this one.
Anybody else want to take the trip to Pittsburgh? Okay. APMM Annual Conference in Hershey, PA. Denise, you want to give us a rundown on that? Not trying to draw it out, but some of these things I've not visited before.
APMM, Association of Professional Municipal Managers.
Which I figures you.
That's fine. Beat me.
That would seem appropriate. I say we send Denise, unless anyone has any objections to that.
Nope. CNET member board of directors.
I'm actually currently vice chair of the CNET Board of Directors, so.
You want to keep that?
Yeah, it's a 2-year term, and I'm in the middle of one, so.
All right. Upper Bald Eagle Half Moon Council of Governments representative.
I would also like to
I was
remain
gonna
on
say,
that
you've
board.
been
I've
doing a good
there
job
for
on
couple
that.
of
Might
years,
as well
so.
keep at it, unless somebody else wants it. Or you don't want it, I should say.
No, I actually enjoy those meetings.
Open Space Preservation Board representative.
That has been me. I'm willing to continue.
All right. There's no objections?
None whatsoever.
We'll keep going. Spring Creek Watershed Commission. Do we have anybody that's been doing that, or? was
I
that-
think you were, quote, designated as that
Okay.
rep last year.
That was your name.
Well, I'll hold on to that then. COVID's over, maybe it'll be a little safer. Let me see here. Center Region Council of Governments Executive Committee.
I was on the executive committee last year, and I'd like to remain on that. Unless there's objection.
Bob, can you say something about that?
The executive committee sets the agenda for the general forum meetings, basically. Makes some smaller I don't want to say non-voting, non-general forum voting decisions. Generally, it's, yeah, and I'm sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to step on your
No,
toes there. If you
go
wanted,
You know about it, I
it's-
don't.
It's often, but not a requirement, that the rep on that board is either the chair or vice chair of the board of each municipality.
Okay.
But it is not a requirement. And I was on it last year, and again, it's another one that I kind of enjoy. So if there are objections, your new positions, if you'd prefer to be on that board yourselves,
If you
I
wanna be on
won't
that,
stand in the way.
If you enjoy
but,
it,
Yeah,
I think that's fine with me.
great.
Maybe someday you want to enjoy it.
Finance Committee.
I was the rep last year.
Do you wish to continue, or,
I'm willing to.
okay.
Unless
Anybody else I don't have any objection.
I'm not gonna fight anybody for any.
You're not gonna find anybody for a cog position. Let me see here. Human Resource Committee.
And again, I was chair of that last year. I am not going to accept chair of it this year.
More fun than you can stand.
Initially, I wasn't going to be on, but I've a close friend and colleague on that board who twisted my arm, and I will remain on that board.
Okay.
So you're gonna stay there?
Yes.
Facilities Committee. Oh.
You
Oh,
public
you missed
safety.
Or did you
public
wanna-
safety.
Well, there's public, I have public safety next, that's Dave.
Oh, did I, okay, yep, I did miss that. Public Safety Committee.
I would volunteer for that one.
Anybody have any objections, or?
None.
Sounds good.
All right, Facilities Committee.
I was on that last year and the year before, and I would like to be on that one again.
Okay.
Well, if you ever decide you don't wanna be on it, it happens to be one of my specialties.
Oh, does it? Okay. Maybe I'll do this year yet.
I could be your alternate.
That would be great.
Oh, yes, we should be setting
right.
alternates to these, sorry.
That is true. I didn't think of that as well.
That would be great, Ron.
We get the,
That's my whole
all
profession.
right, Ron will be the alternate, and
Yeah.
Patty will be the head representative.
Okay.
Climate Action and Sustainability.
Danelle.
Danell had that last year. Anyone wish to volunteer?
My plate's getting full fast, so.
Yeah, I would imagine, but if you want it, you can. I take it these are all supposed to be elected officials to these positions.
On some of them, not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them.
The CCMPO.
Yeah, there's a few that former supervisor Barbara Spencer still serves on for
Yes.
us.
And the Parks and Rec Special Governance is supposed to be, we have that's a new committee, that we have a
Yeah,
non-voting member. that
yeah.
we should appoint.
And I sometimes feel like when we're referring to Park and Recs and non-voting member, and it's nice to be a fly on the wall, but largely we're not involved with.
Can we just leave that open
Decisions
to
being
anybody
made.
with interest?
For climate action?
Yeah, where are we?
No.
Well,
You
we
jump down to
jumped down to
Rec.
Park and Rec for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, Park and Rec's different than the Park and Rec
Well,
governance one.
Well, you have Park and Rec Governance Special Committee, but we're still on, I guess, Climate Action and Sustainability,
Yeah.
so. Does anybody like that? I have zero interest.
I mean, I'm interested, but my plate's a little full. How often do they meet?
I have a memo that I sent out to you for call, but they
Yeah.
haven't come up with their exact schedule yet.
That's probably gonna be the other problem, is when is the meetings?
There is a memo that went out to all the board
Yeah.
members
Yeah.
with the dates on it.
I have it here. I had it here. Where did I do it?
So some of the committees have changed from last year?
The TLU, or Transportation, Land Use, Infrastructure,
Mhm.
that became, I'm sorry, the Land Use and Community Infrastructure, that's a combination of two. And then the Parks and Recreation Governance Special Committee is a new committee. I did send all the information via email to the board,
Right.
including what these committees were in their typical meeting times. It is,
I've got, where do you look, the land use,
on December
so-
30th, so you should have an,
8:30 a.m., January 12th.
yep, it's the COG Committee
It's the first
assignments
meeting.
memo. Executive typically met 12:15 on the third Tuesday. Their first meeting is January 18th at 12:15 p.m. Finance typically made at 8:30 a.m. on the second Thursday. They will be meeting the first time for January 13th at 8:30 a.m. Human Resources met 12:15 on the first Wednesday. Their first meeting for 2022 is 12:15 p.m. at January 12th. Parks Capital, we don't need to worry about. Public Safety, 12:15 p.m. on the second Tuesday. Their first meeting is 12:15 p.m. on January 11th. Facilities Committee met 8:30 a.m. on the first Tuesday. Their first meeting will be 8:30 a.m. on January 11th. Climate Action and Sustainability met 12:15 p.m. on the second Monday. Their first meeting will be 12:15 p.m. January 10th. Land Use and Community Infrastructure Committee didn't meet because they're brand new, but their first meeting will be January 12th at 8:30 a.m. The Parks and Recreation Governance Special Committee is a new committee. They didn't meet in 2021, but they're don't have a first meeting date yet announced. That's to be coming. And then it is noted that for Halfmoon, there's also the Solar Power Purchase Agreement Working Group. They're meeting typically 9 a.m. on the fourth Wednesday of the month. It's also noted that the representative to the Park and Recreation Governance Special Committee may be either an elected or non-elected municipal appointment. The representative from Halfmoon Township will be a non-voting member. And then the COG chair, the memo also goes over the fact that the COG chair comes from each municipality on a rotating basis. Halfmoon is up in next year, not this year, but the following.
Okay. Denise had a question about one of the last year's committees. It has a list here, Public Services and Environmental. Is that no longer a?
That's part of TLU now, or Lucy.
Lucy, yes.
Sorry.
Land use and
Oh,
community
okay.
infrastructure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And again, that was all sent out in the COG committee appointment memo.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody want to be on climate action and sustainability, or we just want to leave it open for any board member that wants to go?
We could leave it open for now.
I don't have
I mean-
it's just me, but I don't have a problem if, Bob's got a free day or whatever, and he says, hey, there's something coming up and I want to represent Halfmoon Township, go have at it,
The issue with that, though, is you don't have a continuity where
Right.
it's like you're jumping into the meeting and you almost don't know what's going on. A lot of these committees, honestly, it takes several meetings, if
Well,
not 6 months,
executive finance,
to
human
really get your
resources,
feet on the ground.
Public safety,
Yeah.
facilities are probably the kind where you need to have continuity. I don't,
Yeah, that's
as
true.
we get to the bottom of the list here, it's less so,
Yeah.
probably.
Now, again, as much as I like to be involved and wish I could make every single meeting and be the
Well,
Halfmoon
I know, you
Township
got a
thing.
job, you gotta.
Exactly,
gotta
I have a
live.
job and I have a big year coming up. So I need to, stick to my 4 here that I have and go from there.
All right, let's just leave climate action sustainability open for now.
So we have no voting member being represented.
Not at the moment. No, nobody's stepping forward to volunteer for that. So land use and community infrastructure. We got an engineer at the end of the table.
I don't know that. You did that last year, didn't you?
Well, I didn't do very much of that last year. But that committee didn't exist. It was the MPO that I was on.
That's a pretty big thing, right?
It is, but it's where a lot of this, great overview planning starts.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
willing to do it.
Okay, thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Do we have any alternate to that?
Yeah, please.
I'll be Ron's alternate if he needs an alternate. All right, the Parks and Rec Governance Special Committee. That's where we're a non-voting deal.
Yes.
It sounds like just another meeting, but does anybody have any desire to? I know you don't.
Got enough going on. I don't need any more meetings.
I don't see even how it even affects us. We don't participate in Parks and Rec anyways. I'm just looking to you to see if you
What-
have a wonderful answer for this.
You're the elected officials to represent the township, so this is for an outside perspective for the governance of Parks and Recreation.
Yep.
There have been a lot of questions about the Park and Recreation Committee as a whole lately. And the idea for this governance committee came up in one of the COG meetings, which all the elected officials agreed to. And it was suggested that somebody from our township, as not being part of it, be there to help with some of the oversight.
Yes, I think the idea is that we have, not necessarily a voting input, but you still can have debate input, dialogue. So we still have some, I want to say, involvement over what's going on in the overall region of the center region, excuse me.
Any interest?
Who did that last year?
This is a brand new
This is
committee.
new.
Oh, this is a new committee, okay.
Ron, you look like you might want to do that.
No. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Let's just leave it open for now. So we're not here all night. Solar power purchase agreement working group. Bob Strauss, terms expires in 12/31/2022.
Yeah, I'll stay on that.
Okay.
We're in the middle of that. That's not a permanent committee. That's trying to get something done as far as the solar power purchase contract. Once that's actually comes to fruition, that committee's going to change into something else. So.
Okay. Center County Metropolitan Planning Organization, CCMPO Coordinated Committee.
Barb Spencer has been kind enough to continue with her, her appointment to these. It's typically a 2-year appointment just
Have you
because of the
spoken with her?
ramp-up time. Yes, I sent an email to her, she confirmed. It's typically a 2-year
Yeah.
appointment because of the ramp-up time that it takes to actually understand the complexities with this. And she is willing to continue to serve out her term.
Anybody have any objections? Anybody want to
None
do it?
whatsoever.
Okay, put her back down.
Okay, before we move to I, really quick, I just want to make sure we have this correct, because are we going to go with the alternates as any member if it wasn't specifically called out? Because I have Bob for executive, and then alternate can be any member?
I
That's
think
why-
that's probably not a bad idea because depending on availability.
Okay, Patty will be finance, human resources will be Bob, public safety will be Ron, facilities will be Patty with specifically Ron as this alternate, climate action and sustainability, we have no appointment. Land use and community infrastructure will be Ron Cervella with Dave Piper. Parks and Rec, we have no appointment.
Well, that
Bob-
could be any supervisor that wants to go.
Bob, you're continuing with the solar power purchase agreement.
Yes.
And we have Barb continuing with CCMPO.
And we have Bob for Upper Bald Eagle Cog,
Yep.
right? And Dave for Spring Creek Watershed.
Yep.
And then on this bigger group too, we have State College Borough Water Authority. We don't have people on that, do we? Or do
We do, Dave was the appointee.
They do have 3 wells in Halfmoon Township, which
Yeah.
the water does not go here, it goes there, but, which, I don't know the new manager. I knew Max Gill pretty well. He did a really good job monitoring things. I would assume that that would continue, so we don't have to worry too much.
So are you gonna stay on that one then?
Yeah, I'll stay on that one.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything to add or take away?
And what about CNET? You said you're staying on
I'm
that?
CNET,
Bob's
as
still
yeah.
on there.
well? Okay.
Do I hear a motion to appoint the the list.
As-
I move that we approve the nominated members for the various committees under board appointments for 2022.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second. Oh, Chuck and-
Sorry.
That's okay. You can have a check.
We have a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Passes.
All right.
Okay. Citizen appointments. We have the Open Space Preservation Board. We have candidate Reed Moyer. His term expires in 12/31/2025. I guess he's being his term actually expired and he's going to be reappointed.
Yes, the other ones listed below show what members are either currently there in their terms.
James D. Smith in 22, Ron Hoover in 22, Joanne Fisher 23, D. Christine Brackenpiper 24, annual Board of Supervisors member 2022, and if Ms. Hartle's going to take that?
Yes.
You're our
just
Board of
appointed
Supervisors
that.
member?
yes.
Yep. And annual PC member Laura Dahlman, who expires in 2022.
So
So I
this
hear a motion to approve that list.
I'll move that we approve the list for the Open Space Board as listed.
I hear a second.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those voting in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. A planning commission. We have, has anybody expired on that, or is it? all-
Marty's the one that expired
Okay.
on that. That's why he shows up as candidate. And then everybody else is listed for their terms. There are 2
Okay.
vacant positions and 3 vacant alternates.
So if anybody wants to be on the planning commission, or be an alternate in the planning commission, let Denise Gambusia know, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. I don't know, I guess I don't need to read everybody's names unless everybody wants their names read.
I mean, really, we don't even necessarily have to motion and vote on these, do we?
Just Marty.
Okay,
Well, if you approve the list, then everybody's on there, and that means we recognize it.
okay.
Do I hear a motion to approve the planning commission list?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussions, complaints? Hearing none, time to vote on the motion. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Auditors, elected. We're looking like reappointing Frank Keshvari. His term will expire at the end of '22. Charles Simmons, 22, and Lemuel Atkins, 23. Do I hear a motion to approve those individuals or reaffirm them as auditors?
I move that we approve the list of auditors for the coming year.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any questions? For a vote on the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Vacancy Board Chairman Barry Hamilton expires in 2022. Was he elected or appointed?
He's appointed and he was contacted and willing to serve again this year. It's an annual.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to reappoint Barry Hamilton as Vacancy Board?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Vote on the motion. Signify by saying aye.
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 5-0. Okay, township fee schedules and resolutions.
So starting with the fee schedule, some changes that should be noted. We updated the parkland fee in lieu of, as per the ordinance that passed last year. We've also updated the fees for SEO services, for code. We updated the highway occupancy permit to 60. I think it was
Too cheap.
50, yeah. Yes, this has all been updated, the sewage enforcement fee. All of the subdivision and land development for admin staff. The code administration fees have been updated. When I go down here, we also updated the community center room rental. This was separated out by resident versus non-resident, and what we learned was inevitably somebody was having somebody in the township rented out, so we just changed it to a flat fee. It doesn't matter if you're a resident or you're a non-resident. We made it to $60, so it helps cover the cleaning fee as well. And we made it was up to 3 hours. We've now made it up to 4 hours, and that way that kind of gives you that extra little bit of time. People were kind of on the edges of those, and then if you need extra time, it's 10 an hour. What we'd like is the refundable deposit fee is a separate check, 60. So we just made it both, so it covers the cleaning if we need to get a additional cleaner in here. We also, the pavilion fee that we upped, did we up that one? No, we said that one was good. And the home occupation permit, that was 50. We kept that the same, didn't we? Yeah. I think everything else basically stayed the same. We did add this was previously added, the Public Works Department, the small cell facilities, wireless, we did that. And of course, professional consultant fees are the rates charged to the township. So this is just an update to the fee schedule. It's typically done at the beginning of the year.
I move that we approve Resolution 2022-01, Township Schedule of Fees for...
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, vote in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Township solicitor fee schedule.
And this is for our solicitor, Salzman Hugh. Our main solicitor is Zach Rice, with our backup being Sam Weiser. Of course, we've got shareholders, attorneys, paralegals, law clerks, project managers, and travel time to meetings is $85 an hour. This is the same that we had. There was no change from last year.
Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution?
I motion that we approve Resolution 2022-02, Township Solicitor Fee Schedule.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor of Resolution 2202 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved.
All right, our next one is for Don Franson. There is no changes from last year's fee schedule. It is the same for engineer, secretarial, meeting attendance,
Must
and
not like
mileage.
attending meetings.
Most folks don't.
No, probably not. Do I hear a motion to approve Resolution 2203, the engineer's fee schedule?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Vote in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved. Zoning Hearing Board solicitor fee schedule.
This increased, I think, $5 from last year. This is for
We don't have too many of those.
plus a $5 rate increase over last year's. Pretty good rate increase, considering.
Yeah.
I move that we approve Resolution 2022-4, the Zoning Hearing Board Solicitor Fee Schedule.
There's a
I'll
second.
second.
Ron second. Vote on the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Um,
Appointment of CPA firm for 2021 fiscal audit.
This
Or the
is,
zoning, yeah, we got that, okay, yeah.
this is for the appointment of Boyer Ritter as our auditor for this year. Only this year.
Right.
Well, for the 2021
If they do a
fiscal
good
year.
job for us, maybe they'll come back.
I move that we approve Resolution 2022-05 to appoint Boyer Ritter as our auditor to audit the fiscal year 2021.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Vote in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Approved. Township alternate engineer fee schedule.
This had a small increase from last year. I believe it was either $5 or $10 change for I believe it was a $5 change for the rates But this is for our alternate engineer. This is,
Where is McCormick Taylor out of?
they're here in,
Yeah, I think, didn't we ask this last year?
yeah, the guy I talked to
Local.
is here.
I know most of them, and I don't know
I
them.
know, I think that's it. We said,
We'll tell you in 1 second here.
That's a whole different rate from the other engineering firm, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
They just added a 1 in front of it.
Well, Don's been with us a
Innovation
long
Boulevard
time.
in State College.
Okay. They have higher rental costs.
oh, so we hardly ever, did we even use these last year?
Yes.
We did?
Yes.
So we did have something that they looked at or did something with.
Yes, they are also, they're the traffic engineers that are currently reviewing a plan in front of the Planning Commission.
Okay. Alternate engineer fee schedule. We have a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion to approve the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's approved. The Township Special Counsel fee schedule.
This did not have a change from last year. This is in case our solicitor, current solicitor, has some sort of conflict. We have to have a special counsel.
So this is a backup, like, for the,
Essentially, it's like an alternate solicitor.
I move that we approve Resolution 2022-7 for the Township Special Counsel fee schedule.
Have a second?
second.
Vote in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Heard none, it's approved. Improve employee wages for 2020 as set in the 2020 budget approval effective January 1, 2022.
I have question of why, I mean, is this just procedural, but why do we have to approve something that's already been approved in the
Well,
budget?
this is something I wanted to discuss with the board regarding employees and legal stuff at the executive session.
Okay,
So if the board's okay with it, we can put it to after our executive meeting.
so you want to table it, you mean?
I'd like to table it for now until we have a discussion. I think
I
all the
don't-
board
I don't
members
object
need
to
to be
that.
involved with the discussion, so.
I mean, if we've already decided we're gonna have the executive session, then, yeah, let's just table this until, after we, talk about whatever it is you wanted to talk about.
Yep.
Would seem appropriate, so.
We have a motion to table this until after these.
Somebody want
I
to,
move that we table this item until after the executive session that was requested by Dave Piper, Chair Dave Piper, excuse me.
it's just Dave Piper. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Vote to table the item 13, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Anything for the good and welfare?
If you haven't already done so, or if you've been appointed or reappointed to anything, and you do not have a current oath of office on file, please make an appointment with Amy. We apparently now can also do them virtually in a meeting. So there's no reason why we can't do oaths of office virtually as well in a public meeting. But let's make sure we get those all on file if you haven't already done that.
All right. I'm not going to adjourn because we're going to come back to the employee thing.
You have to adjourn into executive session.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to break into an executive session, but we're going to just,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
I had tried to tune in on Zoom and couldn't get in. I was in the waiting room for half an hour.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
The Maloney subdivision was on the agenda for tonight.
Well, it is. It's, this is the
reorg.
reorganizational meeting, and then after we have this, we're going to go into the regular agenda.
Okay.
So,
Tonight's a twofer.
And is there any way that the Zoom will be reactivated or?
I have it in. I'm sorry. There was just one person showing up. And Rita, I had I thought I had let you in before, and I guess it must have disconnected you. I'm so sorry. It usually
Just
shows
checked,
me.
And then I was waiting and waiting and
sorry.
waiting.
I'm so sorry. I usually get a little pop-up notification. I didn't see anybody in there. I apologize.
No, I'm gonna go home, and if you can let me back in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. I just didn't see
Are
it.
you representing the Maloney subdivision?
No.
Okay, you're just commenting on the Maloney, okay.
I was interested in knowing what's going on, and I had, actually, I could ask the two questions now, that I was gonna say.
Well, it's
comments.
good and welfare, so
Good and welfare. Well, I just wanted to know why, and then when you get to the Maloney subject, if I have to watch it on video and I can see these answers, why is it happening in 2022 when the original plan was 2018? So what's the history of that? That seems
What
a little
happened?
strange. Yeah, someone could explain that, or multiple people. And the other is, where does it stand now? Like, what are the hurdles that still faces before accepting or rejecting? Or, just an explanation, I think, for myself and other people in the public of where it stands in terms of its progressing through the system.
So we can cover that when we hit that
You
item.
can do
Yeah,
that.
we'll try and cover all that when we get to that agenda
I
item for
greatly
you.
appreciate it. Thanks for your hard work.
Okay.
Bye, Reed.
Thanks, Reed. Okay, so we are adjourned into
We're
executive
adjourning to an
session.
executive session to discuss personnel and contracts.
We will leave the Zoom up and go to the
Yeah,
other
let's
room.
just change
So
rooms.
that way it doesn't disconnect anybody through that. Do you need me to do anything? Cindy, you guys good?
I'll let it go.
Alright,
What page are we on?
Got people locked out already.
no, the door, it started acting weird, and
restroom door's locked. The men's room.
Really?
Yeah.
The doors are all locked into
Yeah, she wasn't
the.
gonna let me go in there and hide.
The restroom door
It was locked when I
locks are
came in.
goofy. If you don't actively unlock it when you leave, it locks behind you.
I had to
And I
use
think there's a key, but, you know, it's not real handy.
lock the
And
door.
Okay, now we have to get back to, okay.
thank you. Snacks.
This must be the page wrong. Oh, he wants some snacks for himself.
Also, I have things, the resolutions,
Lots of
just,
things.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to sign.
okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, everybody's in, I don't have anybody in the waiting room.
Is Reed back on there or not?
Yeah, I see Reed. Reed, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, thank you very much.
All right,
All right, don't want to miss him. He came with a special request. So.
okay.
All right, we're gonna restart the meeting here after an executive session to discuss personnel matter. We have, we'll approve employee wages for 2022 is set in the 2020 budget, 2022 budget approval effective January 1st, 2022.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Discussed enough. Approve it by saying aye.
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 Nays? Nay. Motion's approved.
Okay.
All right, anything else for the good and welfare?
No, there is a list, just so everybody notices, of the upcoming meetings. Elected auditors organizational meeting is tomorrow at 6. Open Space will have their organizational meeting, and then their regular meeting on the 12th. The next board meeting will be, well, immediately following this. Then on the 13th at 7, Planning Commission will have its organizational meeting on the 18th, along with their regular meeting, and then the board will have January 27th. Those are also listed on our website, on our calendar. So that pulls us right into, I'm gonna, if it's okay with you, skip all the same things. We can go to citizen comments.
So we're.
Yes, we'll just jump over into the
So we're
next
starting
agenda.
into the next
Into the
meeting.
next meeting, into the regular business meeting.
Do we need one of those?
Call the regular business meeting to order here at 8:23 or whatever it is, 8:26. Well, we already did announcements, citizens' comments.
We do have citizen comments. The first thing we have is we have correspondence from Amy Pester. If you remember, she had written to the Board of Supervisors asking for watch children's signs. Oh man, I don't know how to make the change in Dropbox like this. Okay, well, she had written to the board asking for some watch children's signs in Centennial Hills. And she's asking that the one sign be relocated. So she just says, thank you for the installation of it. The location of the signs are only seen when turning onto James Hill Road, and the majority of the children live on Centennial. She just asked that they be visible so that they're moved to Centennial, which I don't see that being a huge issue as long as the board's good with just that slight movement. And she provided a lovely little map with where they would be moved to, which I don't know how to rotate.
Do we need to vote on this or just say yay?
You can just say yay and we'll make sure that they're moved since we.
Yeah, I have no
Look at it.
objections.
Did anybody review what she's requested? Just go look at it?
Yeah, they're
That's-
just on, so if you can kind of see it, the signs are here and here, and she's just kind of asking that they go on Centennial, because in James Hill
Oh.
versus in James Hill, that's all.
So that's at the bottom of the hill there on the right?
She's saying the majority of the children live in this area.
Okay, where's the main, where's
Oh,
Marengo?
It's Marengo coming
to the
around
right.
to.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
it there?
yeah, it's the intersection of Marengo, Centennial Hills,
That makes sense.
Smith.
yeah.
So just so they, on the
Yeah.
Main Street.
I have no objections. In fact, I think when we decided to put up the second sign, or however we've managed that, I even asked that one of those be moved and,
To the one.
you know,
We
Good.
just want to make sure that so they're visible.
yes.
Okay.
All right. Any other comments?
Any comments from,
The audience?
Virginia has her hand up. Virginia?
Hi.
There you go.
Yes,
Hi.
sorry, it took me a moment to unmute. First off, I'd like to thank you all for being there and wish you a happy new year. And I came to the,
Got
Oh.
another electronics.
Virginia, we can't hear you. Is it us or her? Because it's not muted.
It's not muted.
There we are.
Oh,
counted.
Virginia, I'm sorry, we didn't hear any of that. We heard like your first sentence and then you disappeared.
I'm really sorry.
No, it's
My,
fine.
audio is breaking out tonight like crazy. Let me try this again. In 2020, the total population of Halfmoon Township was 2,790 individuals. Did you hear that?
Yep.
Yes.
Now we did.
Oh, yay. Okay. 165 of those individuals identified as members of a group other than white only. This means that in 2020, 6% of our population of Halfmoon Township identifies as something other than white only. And I would like to ask our board to recognize that our population is changing and that to be considered a vital and welcoming community, we need to be constantly evaluating and examining how we are performing in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusivity as a community. I would like to ask this board to please consider having as a standing item on the agenda, diversity, equity, inclusivity. That time could be used for sharing of information like the above statistics that I mentioned, the presentation of specific Heritage Month events like the Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and other items of concern brought forth by the community or the board. Or it could also be, we have no new items. But I think that if we have it as an agenda item, people know that that their thoughts are welcome. And then it's also used as a device for introspection. If we were to go 10 months, say, with nothing ever coming up, then that also tells us something. So I just thought I would bring this up to the board. Do you have any questions? And then I also want to thank you for your consideration.
No questions.
Virginia, I think that's a splendid idea. You're basically suggesting that we make a placeholder within the agendas for every meeting to where we could have something designated to be placed in there if we have something available. If we have nothing that month, it's still on the agenda, but it's an empty slot that we can just glaze over. Is that what you're proposing?
That's exactly, thank you. That's exactly what I'm proposing.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful idea. Dave, your chair, that's the agenda is set between the chair and the manager, I believe. So that I would recommend that we follow this suggestion. But
I'll consider your request. We need to move on.
Thank you.
Anybody else, citizen comments? Hearing none. Forward with the approval of the agenda. Your motion to move forward with the agenda is written.
so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Subdivision land development plans or conditional uses and public hearings. We got Halfmoon Acres subdivision land development plan, 2021-02 revised, 12/01/21, 60-day time extension. Plan expires on April 1st.
Okay.
I believe this is what Reed
Reed was
Moyer
asking.
was asking about.
That's
as well.
exactly what
So-
Reed was asking for, and maybe we can elaborate a little bit more
Yes.
than just the time extension for Reed.
Okay, so Half Moon Acres preliminary subdivision and land development plan came before the board somewhere in, the original plan was submitted in August of 2018. At that time, the manager provided a denial letter to the applicant. That was taken to court, and as a result of that court decision, we were ordered by the court to review the plan based off of what was in place, the zoning and saldo that was in place at the time of submission. There is a long legal briefing and appellate decision about this. We could go into, it's over 300 pages for fun bedtime reading.
Yeah, this is a public record,
Yes,
correct?
this
Yes.
is public record. And as a result of that pending litigation, now we are reviewing the plan through the proper channels. It is in the planning commission stages right now. It has been discussed at the planning commission level. This court order came in April 21st of 2021, and it has been at the planning commission for the last couple of months. It's been an agenda item and been discussed. And as such, the attorneys have provided the fact that we would have a time extension because the court did not provide us with a specific time. It's not clearly outlined in the municipal planning code the same way it would if it were a regular plan submission. So the court says, you have 90 days from the date that the plan was submitted. Well, 90 days from 2018 is well over. So the attorneys got together and said, we'll provide you until January 31st of 2022 as a deadline date. Well, that's quickly approaching, and we haven't finished going through the planning commission process.
Not to disrupt, but is Mr. Moyer still there, or has he dropped out?
He's dropped out, but he can be watching on
Okay. I just
YouTube or on the
wanted to
regular
make sure
channel.
we were
or-
answering his questions if he had any.
Yep, this is also for the public too, so he'll get a link to the meeting afterwards too, and he'll get a video recording
Good.
that he can go look
Yeah,
at.
You on?
But this is right now in the planning commission stages. It will come to the board, but before it does, we've already reached the expiration date. So the developer granted us a time extension of 60 days. The board just needs to acknowledge and accept that time extension. So that makes it so the plan will expire April 1st, 2022. But this plan is also going to be on the planning commission meeting for their org meeting. So we will be discussing it. It's an ongoing discussion. There are comment letters. It's all public. There are meetings that you are welcome to watch on the YouTube channel through CNET. I know they've got a library, and they're chaptered too, so you can go in and click them and skip right to the portions that you'd like to see. So this is for the time. This is the time that the board would say they will accept that time extension. Otherwise, a decision has to be made on the plan, and we are.
Not
It
ready.
hasn't
So
even come to the
basically
board.
shortens the amount of time we have to consider it.
No.
No.
No, this
Lengthens
lengthens it.
I mean, if we don't approve it or don't accept the time extension request.
We do not. So the developer offers time extensions.
They offered it to us, right?
Yes, we do not ever have to accept them.
Right, but
It's-
if we don't, it shortens the amount of time they require, or available for a decision.
We have to deem it approved or denied within so many days.
Right.
And the danger of that is if we vote to deny the plan, we have to have everything listed out why we're denying it. And under the law, if you deny the plan, the developer comes back and says, okay, I've met all these conditions, it's automatically deemed approved at that point.
And we
And-
haven't even gone through all this.
And-
items.
And it's very complex.
And the approval's based on the rules in place at the time, right?
Right.
That was the
Time of
court order.
submission, yes.
Right. But the board may not hold up the plan for any third-party approvals. So, for example, DEP has a sewage planning module that they need to approve. So we can't say, no, we're not gonna approve this plan because DEP hasn't come back with it. We say, if the conditions of our zoning and saldo have been met, we recommend either approval or the planning commission would recommend approval or denial based off of whatever it might be, and
Our
then it could be
ordinance.
conditioned upon whatever those third-party approvals are. So one of them is they need to have, for example, a letter from the State College Water Authority stating they're gonna provide water. Well, we can't hold up the plan for that. That's somebody else's approval.
We can only review and approve based on our set of rules, our ordinances,
Yes,
and whatever our planning commission
yes.
determines.
And the developer said, we haven't even gotten through all those, we're gonna give 60 more days to go through this together. And this is the board saying, yes, that's great, we agree to that.
I move that we approve the 60-day time extension for the Halfmoon Acres preliminary subdivision and land development plan.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Concerns? Ron, you get what's going on here?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yep.
It's just a time
You-
extension.
you
It gives us
gotta
more
do it.
time to get
Yeah.
our
Gives
self
township
together.
staff more
Should've
time.
jumped
We're
Foot if we
put in a
did.
corner then.
Exactly,
We don't
it's
do
keeping
it.
us out of that corner.
Yep.
All right, call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved. All righty, approval of the minutes of December 9th, 2021, regular Board of Supervisors. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Ms. Spellings? All right, call for the question. Approval of the December 9th minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Consent agenda, ratify payments of bills list, 12/04/21 to 12/17/21 from the following funds. $89,683.93 in the general fund, open space fund, $2,033.46. Park and Recreation Fund, $2,999.62. State Highway Liquid Fuels in the amount of $719.53. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Old business. We have any old business?
No, nothing on the old business portion.
Denise, you okay? You want some water?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go grab a quick drink.
Five, whatever.
Time.
I keep kicking that thing.
I know, it's so loud.
Sorry.
It must sound so good on the headset when somebody kicks that. Sorry, Cindy.
I swallowed a cotton ball back there.
I'll slide it back, so I don't kick it.
New business. Ready to go, Denise?
Yep,
Maybe.
good.
Resolution 2208, dedication, or street dedication of a portion of Susan Lane cul-de-sac to the Township Public Roadway System.
If you remember back in last year, late 2020, we had Heather and Alan Wilson come in with a subdivision plan that was off of Susan Lane. That was already a portion of road that the township owned. When they did the subdivision, they needed to update the road to public road standards, and they put in a cul-de-sac and paved it there. It is a 60-foot right-of-way. We have a post-construction letter from the township engineer. They've provided the maintenance bond and are providing us with the deed of dedication. We just need to sign the deed of dedication and sign the resolution that approves that this will be part of our roadway system.
So PennDOT's already looked at it or not?
PennDOT does the inspection after the resolution,
Okay.
but our township engineer reached out to their district engineer, and they're aware of it, and that will all be done after we accept the resolution.
Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll move that we approve resolution 2022-08 for the street dedication of a portion of Susan Lane.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor vote by saying aye.
Aye.
I am going to abstain. I don't know that I need to because the plan's approved, but I have done consulting work for the company that did the plan for that.
That's fair.
All right, Resolution 022-09, destruction of certain records in accordance with the adoption or adopt records retention schedule. Adopted records retention.
This is, basically, the state has a record retention schedule that we've followed and that we adopt, and this is the resolution showing what records will be destroyed. They recommend anytime you do any resolution or any destruction of records, you list out what it will be that will be destroyed. We have a list here of what the items are, and they all follow within that retention schedule, so these may be destroyed.
When you say destroyed, are you sending them somewhere? Are you shredding them? Are you?
My understanding is we've burned them in the past,
Okay.
which,
That's
Sounds
not
kinda harsh.
environmentally friendly.
shredding
Something
is
permanent.
expensive
Yeah.
too. So if we can burn barrel it and watch them all burn,
They
and
don't burn very well though, generally.
we'll see how much it costs for shredding
You
services.
got a shredder in the office, just start feeding.
We're gonna hire 2 full-time people just to do that.
Well, they won't
Yeah.
burn either. They'll just be a big mat of stuff all burn around the edges in the bottom of the burn barrel.
How you burn them.
All right, anybody vote to move the resolution 2209?
I'll move that we, I'm on the right page here. I move that we approve Resolution 2209, destruction of certain records in accordance with the adopted record retention schedule.
Well, here's a second.
Keep that stuff.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Approved. Next one is Resolution 2022-10, Personnel Manual Changes and Update Adoption Resolution.
Yes, so this is, the last time the Halfmoon Township Personnel Manual was updated was about 2018, I believe it was. So the new changes will we'll be changing our hours of operation from 7 a.m. to 3:30. This was discussed with personnel as well. This provides, since this is mostly a farming community, a lot of people like to do things either before school, when their children have school, or like to get back to farming if they're working for the township. So we will have hours consistently between the public works and administration from 7 a.m. until 3:30. We'll be moving back to a 40-hour work week. We've defined holiday pay and premium pay as well. We have defined what a family member is in bereavement leave. We have defined compensatory time and accrual. Vacation is now prorated rather than received at the beginning of the year, but you may maintain a negative balance. We're also adding an additional personal day. And we are making HRA monies payable for employee expenses. These items have all been discussed with employees. We would need to accept the personnel manual changes as of today's date, which will make it official as of the first working day of the 2022.
I move that we approve Resolution 2022-10 for the personnel manual changes and updated adoption resolution. Excuse me.
Second?
I have a comment or concern.
Well,
That
now's
is-
the time. We got a motion and a second, so you can have discussion.
Discussion.
I'm concerned about the hours, 7 to 3:30. I understand why you want to change that. My concern is communication with other business offices during the workday. Typically, a lot of offices aren't open till 8 o'clock. You know, so a lot of business is conducted with other offices. I'm sure it's not all done here, and you've got to talk to COG, you got to talk to a lot of different people. So that's my only concern about the hours.
So our hours right now in admin are 8 to noon and 1 to 4. So we're really only taking off a half hour of the back end, which allows people to go and farm if they want to farm at a more convenient time. The 7 a.m., while there may not be, most businesses open at 8, that does still provide the rest of the day that we can still get things moving, but it allows for the people who have children in school, if they would like to conduct township business, they don't have to wait. You know, a lot of people at, for example, Penn State, if they need to go run to Penn State, they might be able to get their kids on the bus, come to the township building for picking up a permit or dropping off a permit, and then still make it to work on time.
Seems that there's plenty of core hour overlap. I think that's
Yes.
Ron's concern. I think, but there's usually, if there's at least a good 4 hours, which you have a lot more than 4 hours overlap with businesses, I think you're good.
Now,
So that's what-
did the employee core hours line up with the core hours of those office hours?
So a lot of the businesses that we deal with are either 8 to, somewhere between the hours of 8 and 5. So some state offices close at 4.
So you're still getting,
Yeah, it's not the afternoon part that concerns me, it's more the morning part.
yeah,
But,
that's only an hour difference. when
so
you
the,
start.
so the office is going to be staffed from 7 to 3:30.
Yes.
And what's the lunch period?
It's an 8-hour day with a 30-minute lunch period.
Okay,
When is lunch?
It's overlapping whenever whenever, as long as the office is open and available for people, or there's a way to contact, you can take, I don't care if you take lunch at 11 or 1.
Yeah, it's something you
So
work.
the
That's
office is gonna
something
be
that-
open the whole time,
Yes.
between 7 and 3:30?
Yes,
Oh,
that way
that's good.
people who cannot still make those hours,
It
and
was
some people who
closed.
have lunch breaks that try to break it over lunch can still make it to the
Yeah.
office during those hours,
so right now it's 8 to noon,
1 to 4.
1 to 4.
Not to mention I'm sorry, Chuck.
No, go ahead.
Not to mention, from 7 to 8, that might give staff an hour to get some things accomplished before the phone starts ringing. I know I go to work at 7 sometimes, just for that simple reason. So I think it's a good idea.
We talked, I asked admin staff about which would you prefer, morning or evening, and they don't mind 7 a.m. I mean, God
Okay,
bless.
so the other part of this is the updates to the personnel manual, and there were a lot of, I couldn't read it all. You know, I did scan it, I did read parts of it. So these are changes that need to happen, and I'm sure you think they all should happen. And I think you consulted with an HR attorney on this?
Yes, we do, as part of our new solicitor, as part of using Salzman Hughes. They have a specific attorney that is for labor, HR, for any type of personnel issue. And this attorney and I have worked together to make sure that we're updated. Now, we have to continue. These are the minimum changes that he recommended to get us into this year. There are still many changes that we need to make to this manual. It needs some updates because laws have changed, and we're working on them, but this was what was recommended as far as to get us at this minimum step. And we will continue slowly chipping away at some of the items that need to be updated.
Okay.
So you might see this updated again. Actually, I know you'll see this updated again this year.
And I guess in terms of the hours, I guess we'll just see how that works over time. And we can always come back in a future time and if things aren't working and make another decision. Okay.
I will say that I am not comfortable with it at this time, and I am not gonna vote for it, but
And call the question.
anybody else?
Well, I guess, I don't know if it's a comment or a question or what, but so you, Denise, will be in at 7
Huh.
till 3:30, right?
I kind of flex my hours a little, so I'm not a morning person. We've talked about this. I might come in at like 8 or 9, but I'll work until 11 if I need to get stuff done. But there will always be somebody in the office at those times.
So somebody will be in the office from 7 until 4?
3:30.
But if she comes in later, she'll be there.
I'll be there, yeah. There's plenty of times that I've been there late where if somebody comes, they'll drop off something and I have no problem answering it if I
But
can.
that won't be a set,
No, no.
that won't be a set thing, so you can send out to the township, hey, if you want to do business with the office, you do it from 7 to 3:30.
Oh, well, yes, those will be our set hours. Now, people do contact me, like, I know we had a developer that needed to drop off a check, and he wasn't comfortable leaving it in one of the boxes. He wasn't comfortable mailing it, and he said, you know, will you be there at 5? And I said, yeah, I'm still here. Doors open, come on in. So there's always, we try to provide any type of availability, and there's always ways to either get things to us or contact us. My phone personally rings at my desk and my cell phone. Emails I can receive everywhere. We have the flexibility due to coronavirus to answer anything, anytime, from any place.
My main concern is operational efficiency. 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 has always been the established business hours. Sometimes, sometimes it's even later, sometimes it's 9 o'clock. 7, when you get earlier, I get a little concerned about that, about being able to contact those people you need to get in other government offices that aren't going to be there.
But we'll still be open at 8. Like,
Yeah.
we will just
They'll
have
still
been
be
there
there.
for an hour.
They'll have already had
The
their
point is
first
they'll
couple
have
of
plenty
cups
of
of
time
In
coffee.
the
They
afternoon,
contact other
sometimes, something's gonna happen between 3:30 and 4 or later, that's, a lot of things unfortunately get done late in the day too, but, I mean, I don't,
If it
I
makes
have
you,
some concerns, but, I'm not managing the office.
if it makes you feel any better, I can't tell you how many times I've driven by the office on my way home from work and almost pulled in to tell Denise, time to go home, because it was 6 o'clock or,
Yeah, but maybe she can come in till 9.
but point being, if somebody
My-
needs to be
My
there.
concern is that we have a lot of evening meetings. I know Amy goes to Open Space Board, I know Patty does. We got a Board of Supervisors meeting tonight. Tomorrow morning, we're asking our employees to walk in there at 7 a.m. And I assume everybody's gonna get up and put on their personal best and come into work. I mean, I don't wanna,
But this is what
They're
they
odd
asked for,
hours.
right? This is what they asked for.
When we talked about moving to a 40-hour week, I asked whether or not they prefer morning or afternoon for
to-
that
To adjust
shift.
their times.
And yeah, the discussion in the admin office was they don't mind early days.
all right, well, it's not just early days, it's a whole personnel thing, but, anybody else got any comments or concerns?
I call question, I'd like to vote on this, if we may.
Sure. Got a question, looking for a second.
I think we did.
We did.
Yeah, we already did all
Okay,
that.
that's
so
right.
now-
Call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay?
Nay,
Nay.
I think I'd just like to talk to the employees and go, you tell me.
they
I'm
back
just saying,
there.
that's why I
Can-
didn't vote for it.
Well, this is a whole bunch of stuff in the personnel.
Yeah,
thing,
this
then, not
is-
just
Right,
the hours,
but-
to get us legal.
The hours is the only part that concerns me.
I believe I only recorded 4 votes.
Well, are we still
I
allowed
think
to
there's
discuss
plenty
this or
of
what?
overlap on some
I guess we
places.
can
We
still
call
talk
it.
All
about
right,
it.
Or is it?
I'll
no?
allow it.
I don't know. I'm
I'll
just-
vote in favor of it.
Okay.
I think it's something we need to monitor,
Yes, it needs-
and if it's not working, then we need to be able to change it
Absolutely.
Agree.
and be done with it for tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, resolution 20.
So just to I'm sorry, Dave, but just to clarify, that motion passed?
Yes.
Thank
Sounds
you.
like it did.
So our hours will be 7 a.m. to 3:30 and
That will be the advertised
hours, right?
Yes.
Right,
hours.
right. But
Okay.
again, if you have something that you need, or you need to drop off something, or bring something in
Oh, I
at
don't have a problem
5,
with those hours, because I'm way ahead of you there.
Personally, I don't.
Whenever you said a bit ago, because I asked you, are you gonna be there at 7? You go, I don't
5
know.
o'clock.
somebody will be in
So-
the office at
Staff will
7
be
a.m.
there.
Right, but so if
Be
you,
there at 4:30.
I guess what I'm saying is if you tell the public, okay, the office is open at 7, and it'll be open until 4, because if you don't come in till 8 and then you stay till 4, and maybe Amy come in at 7 and she leaves at 3:30. Does that make sense or not? Or did I just confuse the whole issue? If so many
You're
people
talking about
come in at this
staggering our
hour,
employees.
Staggered hours.
yeah. Then the office will still be open from 7 to 4, because sometimes you got people coming home from work and go, well, I could wheel in there.
Get my dog license.
Yeah. I confused it.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the motion passed,
Yeah,
so,
whatever.
you know,
It is
and,
what it
and
is.
it is something that we can revisit if we feel the need in the future, so.
All right, let's move on, as my predecessor used to say. Department reports.
Reports happen at the end of the month, so we'll have those, but they're, your profit and loss and your balance sheet are there.
Okay, well, I didn't know if we had anything special for the end of the year closeout, how we did, good, bad, ugly, whatever.
We did fairly well. We actually, so if you remember last meeting,
I know, but that was the middle of December, so,
yes, and we have some money that we're going to be able to look at putting in reserve
all right.
so we'll have some actual savings.
All well and good
And
then.
we're paid an extra truck payment, so we're doing okay. We
Okay.
actually ended up in the black. Yeah, in the black.
Very good.
Probably weren't any COG meetings or committees since our last meeting, were there?
No.
Okay, I guess we can skip that. Everybody okay
Yeah.
with that? Okay, anything else for the good and welfare of the community, so we can get out of here and go home?
Nothing.
Ron, Patty, Chuck?
I'm ready.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion,
Eh. Oh, you got her.
Sorry.
Right
I
by
didn't know you
the
were-
mic. Right by the
Yeah,
mic.
Dave, you gotta be careful,
Yeah,
it's
all
right
right.
here.
all right,
That's all right. Woke her up.
Yeah.
okay.
It's been real and it's been fun, but then